Hey, Tim. First of all, it was great to have you and Stacy stay at our house. I mean, how cool was that? I just wanted to say that a few things about the Asbury. Some people are calling it a revival. We're really calling it an outpouring. First of all, the sermon that morning, they have chapel 3 times a week. That sermon that morning, talking to Zach Mearcreeps, he said, I totally laid a stinky one. What does that mean? Well, basically he said it was meh. It wasn't that great. The worship, I listened to it. There was nothing special about it. There was nothing special about Hughes Auditorium. There's nothing special really about Wilmore. I happen to enjoy living there, but in all reality, this really could have happened anywhere. I do know that there's been like a century worth of prayers that Jesus would come and that he would pour out his spirit on the college campus. Just even, 6 months ago, my mentor and I mean, it was one of those snotty prayers where like snot was all over the couch and we were just praying and praying and praying because we saw such apathy. So honestly, the people group that God chose to come down and touch, I mean, it's not that they were extra deserving, okay? I see a hunger. I saw a hunger over the 15 days of this outpouring that I did not know existed. I mean, I had prayed so much for the campus itself, prayed for the students to be revived, prayed for professors to be convicted and to be mentors and to really lead this generation. I did not know God was going to go poof, 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 and it was going to be so much more than just our campus. That's just one person praying. I know that there were students that once a week, if not more, got together and they walked around campus praying out loud, just being really bold. So what I saw during that week was a huge hunger from all ages of people, but they were being led by Gen Z folks. And I've got a daughter. She's a sophomore, or she's a freshman there. And I saw a hunger in her that I hadn't seen ever. And just a desire to really spend time with the Lord. And I mean, that now, it's like the way that we're supposed to be, like we should be singing and kind, and you go to dinner and then you come back and maybe you listen to some worship and you pray and then you go and you study a little bit and then you come back and then you read the Bible and then you go to work and then you come back and then you tell your friends about what God's been sharing with you and showing you. And so anyhow, okay, so going back to just actually the event itself, walking up to the door and walking into the door, like in through the door, it's just like this, I almost even felt it just now, just this feeling of peace and of like, I've arrived, I'm home, I feel safe. It was like, it was an amazing feeling just walking into the room. So in that case, that place became sacred. Hughes Auditorium became sacred. Amazing things were happening. I call them God winks. It wasn't a coincidence. Okay, so here's one example. All right, so my friend Kelly just met this other gal, right? And they're talking, and they're over here on this side of the chapel. This mom grabs her daughter by the hand and runs her across the chapel and taps this lady, basically bumps into them and interrupts their conversation and says, God told me that you need to pray for my daughter. She said, okay, well, tell me about your daughter. And she's like, oh, she's got this intestinal thing. It's got this big, long name. She tells it to the lady. The lady says, well, I'm a medical doctor, and that's my specialty. I mean, like things like that were happening all the time. So I could go on and tell you all these little God winks. But it was just confirmation that we're sitting in the place where he wants us to be. It's like he was moving people and putting roommates back together who had been fighting and just really, really a spirit of reconciliation. My own 2 daughters. I mean, I have tried for years. These girls have been going to counseling for a long time. They don't like each other. I had them as roommates, like they lived in the same room on purpose. because I wanted them to get to know each other and to get to like each other, and they didn't. And in one night, that first night, God told Ellie to talk to Molly, and Molly's heart was softened, and Molly came in my room around midnight that night with tears in her eyes, just saying, I had no idea that my words hurt Ellie so badly. I'm so sorry. Like, just this repentant spirit. It was just beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to try not to cry about that one. The community came together, like, holy moly, it was amazing. Instacart kept bringing like tons and tons of snacks and water bottles. Like, these college students would be coming in, and I'd be like, where'd that come from? They're like, the red truck. I mean, it was just crazy. So much food. People were just, the outpouring of people from all around the nation were just sending support and calling the pizza place, and there'd be 20 pizzas delivered. Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A gave out, oh my goodness, about 600 sandwiches one night. There were food trucks that came in and just started giving out free food to everybody. Like, we don't want you to have to leave to go get food. If you've got work to do with the Lord, we want you to stay. Yeah, I'm telling you, there was nothing special about our place, the people, the sermon, the worship. It can happen anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's happening other places. It's happening all around. Within 24 hours, Lee University had the same experience. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was, I made a list, and so maybe Tim can read off the list. It's on a post. I can't even remember all of the college campuses that this is happening in. So it's not just Asbury. And matter of fact, I actually talked to a friend that was in Virginia Beach, and she said something about, like, we've been praying for college campuses, so I thought of you and your husband. I said, oh, awesome, so you heard what's happening at Asbury? She goes, oh, it's happening there too? I was like, yes! So it wasn't just our campus, and people didn't have to think that that was Mecca. And the beauty of it is that the leadership realized that when it became too big and we needed to move it somewhere else, it was like, do we really need to move it somewhere else, or do we just need to commission people to go and do this other places? And to me, that's what it's all about. It's not about those 15 days, which were sweet. They were beautiful. They were amazing. I will never forget those days. But it's about what happens now. It's about the kindness that we show now. It's about the choices that we make now and the decisions that we made, and we stick to those decisions. So that's my quick synopsis. I only had about 10 minutes to give it to you. And so instead of texting, Tim, I hope you're okay, I just made you a video. All right, see ya, bye.